To the speakers this morning, one of the things I liked was the fact that there are different models. RE/MAX is different than Keller-Williams, and Keller-Williams is different than Prudential, and you're all different than me, and that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. But when you look at a brokerage office of the future, and we're going to talk about your offices in a few minutes, there are, in our opinion, 4 different quadrants, so to speak. And so there's the, and whimsically, we decided to fashion them after cars for no other reason than it seemed to make sense that particular day. So if you look at the compact office, it's bricks and mortar, single office. And, that is what it is. If you look at the web-centric single office model, it's more like a smart car. And so no space, but a lot of technology. And I suspect that's what your business is like, Krisstina. Mm-hmm. If we look at many offices and web-centric, that is a different model as well. It's a hybrid. And that's, I think, what you've designed, Thad. And then we look at many offices in bricks and mortar. Well, that's the traditional many office company that is starting to downsize themselves and change for the future. There are a number of things that we need to change, and this is what we're going to talk about this morning. We need to change our physical space. We need to change culture. And I talk to a lot of agents, and agents are telling me time and time again, I don't want to go to a sales meeting and hear about everyone's new listings. I can see that online. What I want to do is learn and be trained. And this morning, the speakers talked about training and the importance of training. Yes, and that's all built into the culture. So we look at physical space, culture, your technology platform and what you're doing there, lead generation, core services, the importance of that, education, talent attraction, and the numbers. You put all of that together and you can create a new company. And that's what we're going to talk about in a few minutes. And so branding, the importance of branding. And it was interesting listening to Keller-Williams talk about branding where it's really, the agent. There's not a lot of advertising. RE/MAX, it's both. It's the brand and the agent. And branding has never been more important. Never been more important. And so as an agent, you have to align yourself with a brand that you're comfortable with and make sure that you have a dual branding strategy that touches every part of your business. And as a broker owner, you need to do the same thing as well. So it's not good enough anymore just to put an ad in the paper with your picture and a logo on it. You need to think about technology and branding and everything you do in your business and how it all ties together. And you have to think about your physical space as well. And a question was asked yesterday about that. And in this slide, I'm going to address it. And so somebody asked, what the average office size was yesterday. And according to Realtrends, and Steve is gone now, but these are his numbers, the average size of an office here in the U.S., a real estate office, is 5,000 square feet with 41 agents in it. So what that means is 124 square feet per agent. And, when I think back 10 years ago to a survey that was conducted, it was 138 square feet per agent 10 years ago. We really haven't done much about office space, have we? So, if you look at your building costs as a broker owner being somewhere between 24 and 28% of your company dollar, that's a significant line item on your P&L that needs to go away. So the future, what does it need to look like? Well, yesterday people were talking about downsizing considerably, and in our opinion, 49 square feet is a good place to start. Now, Thad, you're going to talk about much less, and that's good. But the savings, if you owned this real estate office, would be $62,000 a year just by downsizing. That can be the difference between a profit in your small company of 41 agents or a loss. And so these are things that broker owners need to consider. Or you can keep the size of your current office and recruit new talent into that office. So now what I want to do is ask some questions. And I know all these folks very well, and I'm very impressed with what they've done. Their business models are really different, but they're all doing things right for the future of the industry. And so what we're going to do now is have an open and interactive conversation with your questions as well. And so I want to start with you, Thad, and I want to ask each of you to describe your company, how long you've been in business, how many agents you have, just to set the stage.
Sure. Our company was founded in March of 2000, 2 people, my partner, Mike Golden, and me. To date, we have still no other outside investors or no other partners. And that's something we've really been proud of because of our growth and because of being able to maintain that relationship. We started as really primarily a development marketing company, marketing high-rises in Chicago. And shortly we realized that we needed to develop an outside brokerage business, a regular buyer and seller representative side of the business, more like a Coldwell Banker or a traditional model, for a couple reasons. One, we thought that the development would be coming to a halt sometime. It actually lasted a lot longer than we thought. And number 2, the more outside brokers we were able to hire, the faster we would get to our pre-sale requirements and the faster the high-rises would get built. In doing that, because I think we were salespeople simultaneously while doing that, we knew a little bit more of what the agent really needed. We also started the company with a little bit of a different culture than a lot of the bigger organizations. We had obviously owner involvement because Mike and I were still selling. And it was very intimate involvement and intimate sharing and collaboration. So at the end of the day, the company grew with its agents. It wasn't a lot of decisions that were being made and put down a channel and seeing if they could get implemented and it being changed along the way. It was really a very short string of ideas and implementation and culture. And we wanted to develop it quickly, obviously. So we named it App Properties. That was one of the reasons we were scared. When we looked at all the other companies, we saw that they were names of people. And we thought that if it was always only about us, that it would be small. So we wanted to come up with a name that other people would want to gravitate towards, even though that wasn't their name. Number 1, and also a name that was progressive and forward-thinking. And what we felt was coming was a generational shift in the market. And so we wanted to attract young people, and that was with technology. Gradually, we grew with our culture by doing a lot of interesting things that brought our agents together, and we relied on our agents on growth. We have a Road to the Rolex program where when an agent crosses the $10 million threshold for the first time within the organization, there's a big award. They win a Rolex. And today we have about 68 of those members, and only 1 has left in the entire time. So that was really helpful with retention. And it's worked by incorporating our agents into the program because now we have the #1 market share in Chicago. We've got a little over 800 agents. Our goal wasn't to be #1 until 2013, but I think that with the market correcting and a lot of the challenges our competitors faced, we really took advantage of those and were able to grow a little bit faster in 2009 and get to be that #1 status, which is important because we are really, at the end of the day, the only independent operator in the city left. After us, it goes Coldwell Banker, then Prudential, then Real Living, which is Canning and Stray, and then Baird and Warner, which is now smaller in the city and less impactful competitively with us. So we're proud of our growth. We feel really good about it. We're proud that we're still independently owned and operated. And we're very, very proud about our culture and our agents and the overall brand that we've developed over the past 9 years.
Thank you very much. And we're going to dig a little deeper in a few minutes. Krisstina, you and I met a year ago, and I was just so impressed with you and your social networking capabilities and what you had designed around your company. So tell us how you started and where you are today.
Well, I left what I call the big box brokerage, and for many reasons, but I'm a big believer in brand and brand conflict and everything I think is confusing the customer, and that's a whole different conversation. But I'm just coming up on 2 years on having my own brokerage here in Austin. And I'm just building it from scratch with how I personally see the future of real estate, and I can't see it moving any other way personally. And I'm just studying it, and I'm here to learn from like that and others, and Sherry, for instance. But what I'm noticing is that I compare it to the auto industry, and I see what happened, especially the auto industry. And we had these leaders in the auto industry, probably certain baby boomer age, not that there's anything wrong with that, but really under this interpretation that we're too big to fail. And we're going to build cars we're going to build, and we're going to do it our way, and we're not going to listen to the customer, and technology, we don't know where it is. And we know where the auto industry's wound up, like we had to bail them out. Well, I kind of see the same thing happening in the real estate industry. Like, it's just the same model, the same thing, the same relationship. And I kind of find it funny that some of the, I'm probably going to get myself in trouble here, but I'm used to that.